What the heck is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we're installing a Wicked Customs bumper spacer. Alright, so before we get started, let's go over this really fast. I'm rocking a 24x14 with a 35-1350 tire. So what my initial plan was, I was just going to fold this in right here. As you can see, I just, kind of hammered this edge in over just a little bit. Was hoping that could clear. It does clear. The tire hits just a little bit right on the thing you can see right where the paint is missing. But anytime you have suspension flex, like if you're going around a bend or if you're going over a curb, if you're pulling into somewhere and there's a curb you have to go over, the suspension flexes and the wheel comes up into the wheel well a little further. So it actually ended up grabbing the bumper pretty good, and it like bowed it out. You see this bow right here? It like absolutely completely distorted the look of the bumper. So yeah. And also, I almost forgot to tell you, look how it completely chewed up the outside of my tire. Now guys, I swear that the tire cleared. I didn't take into account the tire going up in the wheel well, obviously when you would make a turn and you're hitting a bump. So yeah, there we go, but we're fixing it today. All right, so before we jump right in, let's go over the kit real fast. This is just a Wicked Customs 1-inch bumper spacer kit. It's a very simple kit. 8 spacers, 8 new bolts, 4-step direction lists. So this should be a very, very seamless and easy install. So, all right, so we're just going to jump straight into this. We're not going to waste any time. So first things first, there's 2 little plastic tabs that have to come off to cover the actual bumper mounting bolts. There's 4 bolts. I think they're 18 millimeters as the directions say. Next is the adaptive cruise control. Now my truck is the platinum option, which has the adaptive cruise control. It's this little tiny box right here that has 2 little 10 millimeter bolts that hold on the protective cover, and then behind that is the actual module. 3 11 millimeter nuts holding it to those studs, and then they're just kind of push plastic pin rivet things that are held onto the studs. Give them a little pry and they will pop out. All right, so now that you have your actual 8 bumper mounting front bolts exposed, 18 millimeters, you're going to want to go through and pull those out. Okay, so now after you have your 8 bumper mounting bolts out, with the front 4 out of each side, meaning these 4 and the 4 on that side, the bumper has enough flex where you can pull it out and slide a collar in. I just tried to slide this collar in and it went right in. So now you just have to get the collars in between the actual bumper and the frame mount, and I was able to just go up underneath and slide the collars up in, reach my hand around, slide a bolt in, and then there you go. New hardware is in, collar spacer is in, and then you will retain the factory little mounting plate with the 2 welded on nuts on the back. The new hardware will screw right into there, and then you are installed loosely. Alright guys, I was able to get all 8 bumper spacers in without having to touch the rear bumper support mounts. I was able to just flex the bumper out, slide in the collar, slide in the bolts. Everything checked out really, really good. They're all just loose right now. So what we're working with now is basically just leveling out the bumper. All I'm going to do is just make sure this gap here is level. As you can see now, the bumper is sitting down just a hair. So we got to raise the bumper up just a little bit. Close up that front gap right here. Then all we have to do is make sure it's level side to side this way, and then close up that front gap and tighten the bolts. We're done. So basically what I'm doing now is just full on winging it. I'm sure I could probably work a jack under the bumper somewhere and kind of do it proper, but I'm kind of doing it the winging method. I'm just trying to jam my leg under there, lift it up, try to tighten it up. Alright, so what I actually ended up doing was I pulled the truck forward a little bit because of the slope of the driveway. I was able to get the jack underneath with a block of wood, underneath a stable part of the bumper, because I obviously couldn't do it on the plastic four-wheel drive valence thingy. So I I was able to get the bumper somewhat squared up with the jack, where I evened out the gaps on each side, because it was just too hard to do it by myself, to lift the bumper and physically tighten the bolts. Let's take a final look before we do a final snug. So yeah, I was able to get this back corner down just a little bit. Now this gap is nice and square. I like that a lot better than what it was before. This back part was just a little too tight. So yeah, this side's looking real good. You can see down there, this part of the bumper here always had that slight angle, but this part was flat, so this is nice and square. Let's give this side one final check to make sure we didn't mess it up by adjusting the other side, because you know, you do that side and then this side will get messed up. But we're still looking real square here. We got a real nice square gap. So that's it. We're gonna go through, tighten these up, check our clearance. Alrighty guys, we are officially done. We have the caps back on over top of the bumper mounting bolts. We have the adaptive cruise control box back on. I got a little crazy with a grinder and went in and finished grinding off some stuff back there. And also I found a touch-up black pen, like a touch-up marker, paint marker. So I got a little crazy with that. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I touched up the part where the tire actually rubbed the paint off right there, so we'll be able to see if it hits again. So here's the finished product of the bumper spacer. You can see where the body line, you know, the bumper used to line up with this line here, with this line, so you can see it's pushed forward about an inch. I think that's all the amount of clearance we needed. So I tried to hit this with a rubber mallet to get that back in a little bit. But like I said, you know, I'm getting a new bumper because this one's already wrecked, because I actually hit a light plant on that other side. I'll show you guys here in a second. So yeah, this is the final fitment. All of our lines are still really square, really good. And then back there, I just trimmed a little bit more off in the back. I tucked up the actual metal a little bit in behind the actual inner fender liner, and then I zip tied it back in. I got to get some self-tapping screws, and I'll just zing one in there and be done. I did the same on the passenger side. So yeah, here is the final look with the bumper spacer. Honestly, if you don't know that this has a bumper spacer, you will never ever be able to tell. It looks 100% factory. It's just enough clearance where the tire isn't completely shredding itself on the bumper. Alright guys, there you have it. That is full crank all the way to the right. It's just still hitting the plastic down there, so we got to trim that off. But look at the clearance in the bumper. So now if the wheel goes up into the wheel well a little further, I don't think we're going to have any issues. There is clearance on the back. Sun's weird. So it would hit in the back before. It wouldn't catch the outer edge here. It would hit in the back right where the kind of the tire is now. So now this thing can go way up in the wheel well, not have any problems. So we're good on the back side of the fender. And we are good on the bumper. Perfect, absolutely perfect amount of clearance. It's exactly what we were going for. Alright guys, so there you go. We are officially done with the Wicked Customs 1-inch bumper spacer on my 2017 Ford F250. We have full clearance. Alright, so for those of you that made it this far, if you made it this far in the video, you watched the whole video, I'm going to give a huge surprise to you guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to give one of these bumper spacer kits away to you guys out there. So I'm going to check the other fitments to see what trucks this kit fits, like the kit for my truck. I'm going to check to see if it fits any other trucks. I will post those in the description below. So if your truck is listed below, all you got to do is go to my Instagram, linked right here, like this picture, and also comment on this picture the make and model of your truck. Whatever ride you got, comment your make and model. So if your truck is in the list of vehicles that this kit fits, I'm going to randomly select one of you guys, and I'm going to send you this 1-inch bumper spacer kit. This isn't affiliated with Wicked Customs. This is just me doing this for you guys out there, for my viewers, for making it all the way through this video. I don't know, it's kind of fun for me to do these little things. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up if you thought it was sick. As always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.